In Plato's dialogue, Socrates poses a question to an old friend. Where are you going? Where have you been? The importance in this order of events is that Socrates puts more emphasis on the future outlook rather than keeping one tethered to the past. The primary question is, where are you going in this life? Where do you see yourself in the future? And the secondary question is, where have you been? I had never imagined myself going to community college. If you asked me 6 years ago, as a freshman in high school, where I would be going to college, I would have responded with a school in California, the sunny West Coast with its warm weather and beaches drawing me in. I had felt that my options were limitless, and that if I could choose to go anywhere in the world, why not there? 2 years later, in the fall of my junior year, I applied to schools all on the East Coast, those competitive enough to reflect the rigorous coursework I put myself through during high school. The honors and AP classes to raise my class ranking amongst my peers, desperately wanting it to be worth something. It was only until the pandemic did I pause for some introspection. What was my motive for my academic career? What or who was I doing it for? The answer wasn't my parents, family, or some other external pressure, and it wasn't for some dream career because I had never really had one. I realized that it was this internal conflict that had formed, a sense of competition taking root from taking those higher level classes. I reflected my value and worth as a measurement of my academic success, using how I performed against others as judgment. It was this idea of how people perceived me and then what they would expect of me. It was only until the time spent with close family and friends and away from classmates during my last year of high school that I decided community college would be my path. And thinking what I wanted out of college, it was always two things: to graduate debt-free and to study abroad. Brookdale became my here of where my journey there would lead me. A year ago, I studied abroad. I also began running, even completing a half marathon, a hobby that I never imagined myself adopting. I realized that this idea of there was actually now, this present moment that we are given in time that is ever fleeting, and the there that we are all striving for is here, right in front of us. When I signed up for my half marathon, I was out of shape. I did it because I lacked a goal for working out. I would find myself going to the gym for a week straight and then taking off an entire month, unable to find a purpose or sense of motivation in doing so. Following a running plan helped to discipline myself. I would increase distances each week and eventually built up a base mileage. We often think of people who work out as highly disciplined people with impeccable habits. They wake up early to run, eat the right foods, and are more productive throughout the day. Many assume that these practices come naturally, but these habits form after you become the person that you are striving to be. These keystone habits create a ripple effect for more positive changes. When I ran in the morning, I found myself more energized to start the day and less anxious. I felt a sense of control over my time return, and I would be more focused knowing that I completed my workout for the day by the time I attended my first class. People often use the word motivation to describe how are they able to transform their life. Today, I am motivated to go to the gym. Today, I am motivated to start a new painting. Or, I wish I was motivated to go to the gym, but I just don't feel like it. I'm so tired. Or, I want to be motivated to go to the gym, but I had a long day and don't think I can do it. No one feels motivated all the time, but they can learn to be disciplined. As much as I love running now and thoroughly enjoy my time training, I am still not motivated every day to do so. I don't wake up at 6 a.m. eager to leave my warm bed to go run in a circle at the park. I had to discipline myself to check off the runs and workouts, knowing that I would feel better once I completed it. And I always did. The way I feel about running is how I get out of bed every morning. When I'm running, nothing else matters. My mind goes blank. I am in tune with my surroundings, observing couples making conversation on the boardwalk, surfers scanning the waves, and children being curious on the playground. My body feels like a unit operating entirely on its own, my legs moving like they could continue forever. It is a feeling of such intense happiness and feels so right. My worries fade away and my stresses begin to dwindle. I am in the moment. This is right. Despite the fact that a younger version of myself would be confused as to why I voluntarily run for hours on end, or why I ended up at a community college 15 minutes from home rather than a university across the continental US, I am exactly where I need to be, and so are all of you. It'll be like having an epiphany. One day, the struggle of getting out of bed won't be so hard anymore, and you'll find yourself waking up before the alarm. One day, you'll find yourself reaching for new challenges, and those new changes will also become habits. One day, you'll look in the mirror and be the person you wanted to be instead of always wishing for it. The phrase consistency is key is true. It is not always easier, but it definitely gets easy. The there that we're all striving for, this idea we have in our mind of how our ideal life looks or how our improved future will be, are composed of small insecurities we currently hold to our present life. But we cannot let this stop us from achieving our dream, our own personal there. Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, offers this mantra: I'm not a product of my circumstances, I'm a product of my decisions. We should not allow ourselves to be held back from our dreams by our own perceived circumstances. We can change our future by the decisions we make today. Where you are going, like Socrates asked, is not based on your current situation, but what actions you are taking now. You may be uncomfortable with where you are right now, but that is up to you to change. I was uncomfortable writing this speech, but here I am, a 19-year-old introvert, standing on stage in front of all of you. Whatever your idea of there may be, it is actually right here. It is all in your power. That first step towards there begins right here. This is your starting point.